are you ashamed of saying that you met someone on a dating app? We cannot say from personal experience, but I will say the thought of it, I think that people are so tied to the story about how they met when it actually doesn't matter at all.
And I see a lot of these prompts on Hinge where guys, one of the prompts is like, I'm trying to think because they're always like worded slightly different, but one is like, oh, I'll fall for you if, and then his prompt will say, you lie about how we met.
Right.
And I'm like, I just, like, that gives me the ick. More than saying we met on Hinge. Like, at this point, I'm like, okay, you're just like, we're all in on the bit.
Right.
So just, who cares?
It is really weird, too, because, like, back in the day, people would just, like, meet someone in their hometown because that was the only way they could connect with people. And then I'm going to, like, just highlight the negatives of that. Obviously, it could work out perfectly for many people, but the negatives of that is, like, you just get married to this person when you've only met 100 people in your life. Like, what are the odds that your soulmate and the person you're most compatible with on this earth also lives in your hometown? Like, I just feel like that's such a small percentage of healthy relationships.
Yeah.
And then people just would like fear divorce and not get divorced and be in these like toxic marriages. I'm speaking from like people that I've met.
Yeah, but I think that's a good point.
Yeah, and now we have the internet to connect us with people from all over the place. Mm-hmm. And why are we ashamed of that?
Wow. Yes.
No, but there is such a stigma. And I feel like I would probably feel it too.
Yeah, I felt it at first and now I'm kind of over it. Because like I said earlier, no jokes, like I've met crazy people at bars and on apps. So what difference does it make who someone turns out to be, I guess?
Yeah.
Because everyone's everywhere all at once.
Also, I think people are so obsessed with the story about how they met. And I heard this quote that was like, your relationship doesn't care about how you met.
Oh,
that's so true. Because like if you had this really exciting meet cute where you bumped into somebody at a bar and like looked into each other's eyes and you're like, oh my God, I knew. It's like, first of all, no, you didn't. Yeah. Because I've said that about how many people, and look at me now.
Right.
I don't know what they're doing tonight.
Yeah.
Like, anyway.
They're at the diner.
Wait, that's a whole, yeah, they're probably at the salad bar. I like run to the salad bar. No. Sorry.
Squeak.
Wait, why am I squeaking? What's happening?
It's the tea.
It probably is.
Oh, God.
Anyway. I just have so many thoughts about that. Like, there are so many people that say that they meet in these cute ways and they're like, the moment I saw him, I knew. Or like, when you know about like their first boyfriend and their first love. And it's like, we've all said that. We have all said when you know. And I was wrong every single time.
Yeah.
So when you know, it's like we all say that. And some of us, like, that does happen to be your life path. I don't think you know. And I'm not talking about like once you meet and start dating and you're like, wow, yes. I mean like upon first meeting them, like the first time you meet them being like, I knew he was my soulmate, love at first sight. You can have interest at first sight and love the idea of them at first sight, but come on. Nobody knows when they know the first second that they look into somebody's eyes.
No, totally. And like, I love the idea to really zoom out here that to think there's only one person on this entire earth that is your, like, I just don't believe in that. Like, yeah. I think there's probably someone in every state that you're compatible with, every county.
Yeah.
You know, but like, you're not out, it's impossible to meet every single person. But within your limits, I guess, yeah, I believe in soulmates of like what's reality.
That's interesting.
But I don't know. Sometimes I'm like, well, what if I moved to Paris? Like, I don't know.
I find like that's a really weird discussion because I want to believe in it and I am very spiritual and I do think that our lives are like meant to be And maybe that's delusion, and it's just like me looking back at my life and like connecting dots and being like, oh, well, if I didn't do that, I didn't do that. But then at the same time, it's like in a parallel universe, if I chose the opposite, I would have had this like path and I would have met someone else that I also thought was my soulmate. But like there's a reason why I chose A instead of B, and it led me down this path to this person, or I don't know. I like the idea of it.
Me too.
I think realistically, though, it is crazy to be like, yeah, you're the only person. So I don't think it's that, I don't know. This is me being like very spiritual and like religious, but like I think rationally, yes, there is more than one person that if you met them, you guys could build a life together that you both enjoy and you can be so happy and love each other. But I just like the idea that like God and the universe have like designed someone for me and like made our paths cross and like helped us in the decisions that led us eventually to be together.
Yeah, I do like that.
It's like kind of delusional if you are very realistic, but like I like the idea of it.
Me too. I feel like I'm a little more jaded with dating than other areas of my life, because like the littlest thing will happen at my job or just like with my career and I'll be like, this is God's plan, like this is a sign. And then with dating, like I'm sure, you know, if we're gonna continue on the religious path, I'm sure God has put many like great men in front of me and I will just be like, no.
Have you ever seen those TikToks where like someone's like pretending to be God and they're like, oh, she wanted a boyfriend, let's send her this, and then like the people are just like smacking them out and they're like, and then God's sitting there like, what the heck, we just gave you him, this is what you asked for.
That's hilarious and also relatable.
I know. I love those TikToks where people are like pretending to be God.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Very sacrilegious. Sorry. I love False Gods.
It's all
anyway.
False God by Taylor Swift.
Slay.
Beep, 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 beep.
So bringing it back to the question, which was, would you be ashamed to say you met on a dating app? To be completely honest, it would just be a more exciting and entertaining story if like I dropped my scarf on the street and he picked it up behind me and then he's like, I'm gonna go grab a coffee, would you want to come? I would never say yes to that, so I know that's never gonna happen. But like that's a really exciting story.
That's actually a good point too.
Yeah, but like I guess at the same time it's like, okay, how many times do you get to explain how you met? Probably like the first time your friends meet your new partner, maybe on your wedding day.
Like it's so outdated. You're right. But also regarding the scarf thing, that's a good point in how you were saying you wouldn't do that. I would run. I'd be like, oh, he's trying to steal my purse.
Oh, yes, I would.
He's trying to abduct me.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not going with you.
I spend so much time on Reddit and like the dating advice threads, but I saw this one post that was like how to meet people in real life, and I actually do want to talk about that because my one guy friend is trying to find love and he's just like experimenting with all these different ways. And he was recently talking about like, how do you talk to women at a bar or like in a public space? Because I don't want to be like creepy and I don't want to give them the wrong message, but like I do want to shoot my shot if I find someone attractive and I want to see if like we have good conversation. And I was thinking a lot about that and like the line between I don't want to talk to you and like, oh yeah, let's continue talking and now I'm interested in you. I do think a lot of it comes with attraction at a first glance. Like if you're attracted to this person, you're not going to find them creepy. And if you're not attracted, there's a better chance that you're going to find them annoying or creepy.
Right.
Which is sad. But I don't know. I think there is ways to do it.
Yeah.
Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, because we were talking about like someone approaching you on the street and like being creepy. In a Reddit thread, I saw somebody was posting about talking to people at like a grocery store and when they were in line. I was like, I would never in my life have more than like a, oh yeah, like I love that cereal too, haha, have a nice day, and run to my car.
I've heard the grocery store thing and I'm gonna say it's a no from me, dog.
No, I would never.
Because when I go to the grocery store, I'm like laser focused. AirPods in, podcast blasting, playlist blasting. I look a mess. How are people going to grocery store? Are they going with like full makeup and hair and an outfit? Like, I go in my workout clothes 99% of the time.
I guess your true love wouldn't care what you're wearing, but I just still think it's like weird.
And it's also like, okay, if someone comments on your basket, they were just like creeping on your basket. I don't like that.
I think the person's advice was like, when you're in line behind someone, do like something where you make like a little comment, nothing about them, just maybe about like what they're buying or something in the store, and see how they respond to it. And if they respond with like good conversation, then maybe you say something else.
Okay.
But like, how often is that happening?
The line moves so fast.
Also, like, some people just like talking. Some people just like conversations. Like, why would that mean that I am like emotionally invested in this conversation?
Yeah.
Just because I'm trying to be nice. And it's like, oh yeah, I actually do love that food. Like, I don't know. Some people just like talking.
Right.
I don't know. I just don't think, I think it's a fine line talking to people in public.
And I really struggle with like, not eye contact in general, but okay, this happened to me actually like a couple days ago. I was at a Barnes & Noble and I was genuinely looking for a book and could not find my way. So at first I was downstairs in the news section, and this guy was like, he was honestly pretty cute and he was dressed really well. And I like felt him look at me, but I'm like, is my move to then look at him back? Because I couldn't find my book. So then I went upstairs and it was like the self-help section.
He just follows you there and he sees you looking at how to find love. Oh!
I turned the corner to the other section of the self-helps. I don't know. That's not funny.
You were running away from him.
And he was there. And
God's in heaven. Like, what the frick? This is literally what you've been asking me for.
Like a man in a bookstore, kinda.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wait, does he want to work on himself too? And then he answers the phone, and I think it was his wife. And I couldn't peep the finger. But based on conversation and the way he hung up, which was like, love you. I mean, I guess it could have been his mom, but he was like kind of older, like 30s. So I'm like, I don't know. And then I just was like, this is it for me. But I just knew he was like staring at me, and like I felt like he followed me up there. But I'm like, I don't know, maybe that's delusional. But I'm like, am I supposed to like smile? Like,
I feel like if you want to, I do feel like eye contact is a huge part of date. Like, because I feel like if someone's avoiding all eye contact with you when you've looked at them 3 times, I think you can take that as like they probably don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, or I'm just awkward AF.
True. It's hard to meet people though. It really is.
It was like so quiet and like, I don't know. I felt weird about the kind of book I was getting. It's nothing crazy, but I was just like...
It's like smut.
No. I was like, wait, like, don't like watch me pick out my book right now.
I think the one thing dating apps have going for them is that for the most part, if people are honest on their profile, you know what they're looking for. Mm-hmm. So it's like you don't have to go into a public space and just guess if all of these people are single, if they're interested in women, if they're interested in you. Yeah. Like you just know on a dating app if people are honest.
Well, that's a whole other thing. I've been, again, in the Facebook groups reading all these things of how men will put like... Because on Hinge, you can put looking for long-term relationship now, short-term, whatever it is. And girls like, it's just so sad how they're like, you know, why are men like putting that they want this? And then, you know, we go out and then I find out he wasn't, he ghosts me, blah, blah, blah. Like that is crushing. So men are lying.
I mean, the culture is very
and women
difficult.
Too.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
It's very difficult, I think.
I think everyone's a liar.
I mean, that's true.
Until proven otherwise.
You kind of do have to live your life like that to a certain extent when you're meeting strangers.
Yeah.
I think that was all my thoughts at first.
Yeah, that was a fun tangent though.
Yeah. Should we move along to another topic?
And if you're a bookstore boy.
But only if you're not married.
Yeah, only if you were actually talking to your mom.